Welcome to CRAWMEN. This is the story of friendship and ultimate deception. In the first scene, we see a man named Dean smoking a cigarette on an oil-soaked ship. He lights his cigarette and throws the burning matchstick on the deck. Since the ship is soaked in oil, a fire starts. Suddenly, from above, a man sprays water on the fire with what looks like a fire extinguisher, and the magic-like flames stop right there. We don't see the face of the man. He comes down from above, smoking a cigarette, and seeing him Dean smiles and he shoots Dean. Then he drops his own cigarette there, which reignites the fire. Now the story shifts back and starts from the beginning, 6 weeks ago in New York, where the police arrested 5 men together, because they were accused of hijacking a truck. These 5 were Dean, Michael, Fred, Hockney, and Kint. Yes, the same Kint who's narrating this whole story to the police. Kint couldn't even walk properly due to a disability. The police kept all 5 of them in jail overnight and questioned them continuously. But the truth is, they had never hijacked any truck in the first place, so what could they even say? The 5 men were locked up in the same cell, and that's where their friendship began. The scene then shifts to the present day. A police officer named Jack goes to the hospital to meet the burned man from the ship, but the man speaks in a strange, foreign language. Since no one could understand him, Jack calls in a translator and a sketch artist to get his statement. Meanwhile, a senior officer tells Agent Dave Cugin that the ship attack case has become very political, and Kint is getting a lot of public support. That's why they'll have to give him bail within 2 hours. Without wasting time, Dave begins interrogating Kint, who again starts revealing everything, and the story goes into a flashback. Dean's girlfriend was a lawyer, and she got them out soon from the prison. After that, Michael tells the team that he got a job from a man named Redfoot. Redfoot told him that some police officers are highly corrupt. So the plan was to steal diamonds from a big smuggler and hand them over to Redfoot. That way, they could take revenge on the cops and make money too. The smuggler was being escorted by corrupt police officers in a cab. Dean and his team ambushed the cab using 4 vans, cornered it, and then burned the car with the smuggler inside. Dean also called the media in advance, so the entire police racket got exposed. Due to the media coverage, 50 officers were suspended, and they got their revenge. The scene returns to the present, where at the hospital, a translator is brought in. The police believed that a cocaine deal was going down on the ship, but the burned man told them that he had seen the devil on the ship that night. By devil, he meant something else entirely. On the other hand, continuing his story, Kint says they had stolen diamonds and given them to Redfoot. Redfoot had given them another job, to steal both money and diamonds from a man. All the diamonds belonged to Redfoot, and the stolen cash would go to team. They agreed to do the job after hearing about the money. While executing the job, they killed the man and his bodyguards. But when they opened the case, there were no diamonds or money, only drugs. This led to a heated argument between Dean and Redfoot. Redfoot shifted the blame, saying a lawyer gave him this job. Angrily, Dean demanded to meet this great lawyer. They go to meet the lawyer. They waited for the lawyer in a room. His name was Kobayashi. Kobayashi tells them about the Keyser Söze. He was so feared that people used to scare their kids saying, "If you don't sleep, Keyser will come for you." But no one had actually seen Keyser. Hearing his name, their jaws dropped. Kobayashi told the team that one of their competitors was about to make a $91 million drug deal. Yours team had to stop that deal. In return, they'd get all $91 million as a reward. Kobayashi also revealed that it was he who had them arrested, but he couldn't meet them in jail because Dean's girlfriend had already bailed them out. Then he gave them a suitcase. It had files with all their names and records of their past crimes. That's when Fred decided he didn't want to be part of this anymore. He tried to escape with his share of the money, but Kobayashi's men killed him. Seeing this, Michael got angry. Fred had been his friend for 5 years. Filled with rage over his friend's death, Michael declared, "Now it's time to fight." They stormed into Kobayashi's office. First, they took down his bodyguards. Then they took Kobayashi to a corner, planning to kill him. But Kobayashi threatened them, saying, "If anything happens to me, your loved ones, and Dean's girlfriend, will have things worse than what happens to me." Hearing this, the team's courage vanished, and they reluctantly agreed to do the $91 million job. In the next scene, we see the same ship from the beginning, where the deal was to happen. Michael took position as the rooftop shooter. Dean told Kint, "If we die here, take the money and run." They had also placed a bomb on the ship. When it exploded, chaos broke out. Back in the present, Kint was narrating all this to Officer Cugin. Cugin interrupted and said, "There wasn't even a penny on that ship, forget $91 million. Actually, there was just one man on board, a man who could identify Keyser. This entire plan was just to kill that one man. Story goes they're back again. Michael and Dean were searching for the $91 million, but instead they found the man who could identify Keyser. Before the deal even started, someone killed that man. Hockney was also killed, and Michael was stabbed in the neck. Seeing all this, Kint ran away. He heard a gunshot and hid behind a crate. This is the same scene from the start of the movie, where Keyser shoots Dean. Back in the present, Officer Cugin reveals the truth. Dean wasn't a victim. He was once a police officer, but while in service, he was repeatedly accused of murder. He'd get rid of witnesses before they could testify. Eventually, he was sentenced to 5 years in jail, where he killed 3 more inmates. Cugin could never prove anything. Then Dean faked his death to escape all charges, and maybe now, he's faking it again. Hearing all this, Kint is devastated, realizing Dean used him completely, and the man who could identify Keyser was killed in front of him. He felt completely betrayed, like a breakup. Cugin also says he never saw Dean dying, only heard a gunshot. He offers Kint a deal, become a government witness so they can reopen the case against Dean. But Kint refuses. Even after betrayal, I won't betray my friend. Kint's 2 hours were up, and he got bail. But the story isn't over yet. Officer Cugin sits, frustrated, sipping coffee, realizing Dean escaped him once again. Just then, he looks at the bulletin board. There were cutouts on the board, and all the names like Redfoot and other details Kint mentioned. It was clear he had just made them up by picking hints from the board in the police station. Meaning, his entire story was a lie. Seeing this, Agent Cugin dropped the coffee cup he was holding. It had a name tag on it, Kobayashi. At the same moment, a sketch of Keyser was faxed from the hospital. It was Kint's sketch. Realizing everything, Cugin ran out after Kint. Outside, Kint was limping like a disabled man. But suddenly, he started walking perfectly. Just then, a black car stopped beside him. Kint got in, and Kobayashi was sitting inside. They both drove away. Now we realize that, Kint was Keyser Söze all along. From the start, he manipulated the police. In front of Dean and his friends, he always acted like a harmless, innocent man. And in the end, he pinned everything on Dean, which was easy, because Dean already had a criminal background. It was Kint all along, even him being the limp. And we finally realized, Kint was Keyser Söze. And thus the story comes to an end. The name of this film is The Usual Suspects and it was released in 1995 and its IMDb rating is 8.5. I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to the channel.